Okay, in today's video, we're going to jump in right into the news. I want to talk about what's going on with Uber and the breach that's happened that's in the news. So let's hack at it. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the news. This article is from the Hacker News, and the article is, after getting hacked, Uber paid hackers $100,000 to keep data breach secret. So I'm going to read through the article and bring up some points as I go, and I wanted to have some discussion points as you and I go through this to really start working on how do we resolve these type of security breaches and how companies deal with this. So, what do we got here? Uber is in headlines once again, this time for concealing last year's data breach that exposed personal data of 57 million customers and drivers. On Tuesday, Uber announced that the company suffered a massive data breach in October 2016, a year ago, that exposed names, email addresses, and phone numbers of 57 million Uber riders and drivers, along with drivers' license numbers of around 600,000 drivers. However, instead of disclosing the breach, the company paid $100,000 in the ransom to the two hackers who had access to the data in exchange for keeping the incident secret and deleting the information, according to the report published by Bloomberg. So that's a red flag for me, and I want to bring that up after. Uber said none of its own systems were breached. Rather, two individuals outside the company inappropriately accessed and downloaded 57 million Uber riders and drivers' data that was stored on a third-party cloud-based service. Again, another flag there. I want you just to keep that in mind. The cyber attack exposed the names and driver's license number of over 600,000 drivers in the United States and the names, email, and mobile phone numbers of around 57 million Uber users worldwide, including drivers as well. However, the company said other personal data such as trip, location history, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, social security numbers, or date of birth were not accessed in the attack. Uber hid 57 million user data breach for over a year, according to Bloomberg report. Former Uber CEO Travis Kalanick learned of the cyber attack in November 2016 when the company was negotiating with the Federal Trade Commission on a privacy settlement. So the company chose to pay the two hackers $100,000 to delete the stolen information and keep quiet about the incident, and finally agreed to the FTC settlement 3 months ago, without admitting any wrongdoing. Uber Technology only told the FTC about the October 2016 data incident on Tuesday when the breach was made public by Bloomberg. Okay, so let's go through this. First and foremost, it's over a year that the compromise happened. So that's the first kind of red flag. Why is it taking so long for these guys to report it? And in my opinion, it's kind of like hiding it. They had the FTC negotiation going on, for the privacy settlement, and then, they not even released a PR campaign, but a Bloomberg report released it, so it wasn't even them. Next, the data breach. They're talking about their systems didn't get breached, and they're trying to point fingers at a cloud-based service. Where does the responsibility lie? And I have my opinion, but where do you think the responsibility lies when you're storing your service providers, so the drivers who provide the service for your company, your clients' information? If you're storing that information and you're storing on a third party, isn't it your responsibility to make sure it's safe, it's secure? The CIA, confidentiality, data integrity, availability, right? It's confidential. It has data integrity so that they can use it, and it's available just to them, not to the world. So maybe look at encryption. Was there a memorandum of understanding that was written for the storage of their data in a third-party cloud service? So these are the things that really kind of gets me. You kind of go, it's not us, it's them. Come on, we got to take responsibility. And in my opinion, we got to take responsibility. If you're storing any data from the company in a third party, you need to make sure it's secure, right? And especially if you're, and this is later in the article and I didn't read it, but if you read the article below, you click on the link, it talks about that this CEO is firing the CSO and one of their staff members because supposedly that they didn't know, right, about the incident, and that they didn't handle it appropriately. And here comes my question about instant response. And I want, again, a comment below. An instant response, isn't there a war room at this massive scale of an outage or as a breach? Wouldn't the CEO, the VP, the directors, like all be in a room going, you know, holy cow, we've got compromise. Like, what are we going to do? What's the process? What's happening? So kind of questioning about that. Next, again, like I talked about, the time frame. October 2016, we're in November right now, and the Bloomberg report, and I didn't look it up, but you know, supposedly on Tuesday it came out, and letting this information go in November. So you're talking a year and 1 month after. So there's no PR release, no looking after their customers, letting them know that, you know, there's a potential, you know, breach in their customer data, personal identifiable information. So a lot of these red flags are going up, and that's why I want to have the discussion is, us security experts, professionals, I'm going to call myself, you know, student of cybersecurity. How do we start having this conversation to make sure companies, our companies, the people that we work with, we consult with, are handling security incidents better? Right? What do we do? I mean, I'm asking you. I am asking. You know, what are the ways to have the instant response, PR relations, making sure, you know, we're doing the protection at the front end, but if we do get breached, which it's inevitable that companies do get breached. I mean, we look at it day in and day out. How do we deal with that incident properly? Comment below. I really like to kind of hear your feedback, and I really like to get in this discussion. So that's it for today's video. I don't want to make it too long, but I really want to start this discussion about how to better handle incidents, right? Cybersecurity breaches, ransomware, like all these. How do we better handle them from the start? You know, looking at like the blue team, and then looking at how to set up security and do that, and then how to handle the incident when it happens and the aftermath. So that's it for today's video. Don't forget, comment below, and software is hackable, being connected is vulnerable. I'll see you next video.